Okay, every time that I chat for the first time, my screen is freezing. Okay, now I believe it's okay. Am I correct? Did you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what it happens. I really don't know. So we already studied this point, but I will revise to the main topics about the classic cipher. In the last class, we finalized the the class showing the Caesar cipher. I believe it's very easy. So I don't believe you have a lot of questions. The only thing that you need to pay attention in the Caesar is the this sign here. Okay, it represents the path. Okay, for example, shift 3 minus, you shift for this path. Shift of -3, you shift in this path. Okay, it's the only thing that you need to pay attention. So again, it's very simple. Uh, to broken this code, it's not so hard. Okay, uh, because the number of, oh my gosh, yes, the number of key is large, but in today I will show how to broken this code without you need to test, for example, the factor of 26 different keys. Okay, uh, it's hard to broken, including the CISA cipher. However, you have cryptanalysis techniques to broken much more easy. Okay, I will show today. So it's the part that I don't spend a lot of time, and I believe is important to clarify. It's the visionary. In the Caesar cipher, you use one key. Okay, the key is the number of shift. Okay, for example, 3 minutes, you shift 3 numbers for the left or for the right. In the visionary, you don't use math yet. You use only test string. Okay. However, you use a composite key. For example, a letter. For example, uh, point is a key. Okay. You can use point. Okay. You replace P to 16, O to 15, using this alphabet here. Okay. The plain text alphabet. Okay. What it means? It means that in the visionary cipher, you have, it's like for each letter of the key, you have a Caesar cipher. Did you understand? It's more or less like, for example, you have a point is the key. You have a Caesar cipher for P, a Caesar cipher for O, a Caesar cipher for I, a Caesar cipher for N, and a Caesar cipher for T. Okay? I believe it has one example here. Okay, the key is point. Okay, like you see here. Okay, the key is point. Okay, transform point for numbers is 16, 15, 9, 14, 12. Okay, and the message is attack from southeast. Okay, it's the clear test message. And what you want to cipher this message. How to do it? You need to transport, okay, 2, 3, oh, no, sorry. Okay, to cipher this message, you need to go to the clear test alphabet and replace the A for the letter that is represented the 16. Okay, how to see it? Go here. Okay. 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 1, 2, 3, 4. The 16 to the point is the letter key. Okay. The 16 number is key. Okay. Okay, it's only two counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But okay, sorry, it's you counting here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, this number is 16. Did you understand? Yes or not?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so the next one is the O. Okay, it's the same idea, is the O. O is one letter before, okay, is the P. And you continue to the other letters, okay, 1, I, 9, and so on, okay? What you need to do, okay, A is 16, it's easy to understand, okay? You receive key. And T, the 15, you need to go to the T, okay? Remember then the A in the second letter, okay, A is 15, okay? What is it? Okay. And you need to replace the letter. It's like, again, like any, each word is a new. For example, what I see is a point is, give me a second, point is, oh, point is P-O-I-N-T, okay? You use the first letter, you use the alphabet, use the P key, okay? The P key, okay? It's like here, it's P, okay? The P alphabet. Here, you use the O key. Here, you use the I key. It's like a scissor if with the I is the key. And here is the T. Okay? What happens after you finish the size of the key? You start again the same process, okay? You use the point again for the next 4. It's the same here. P-O-N-I-N-T. Okay? And so on. Did you understand the idea?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, if you see, the key must be less than or equal to the size of message. Okay. However, in sometimes the key is short when you compare with the size of message. It's not a problem. You use one process which name is pad. Okay. It's like, remember the TCP and UDP in the package when you need to transport, for example, you have a big message and you need to break the message in small piece to accommodate in the package. Remember in the TCP IP, in the network course, you need to split the message in small package to transport. If the last part of the message is smaller than the size of message, you need to pad this message. In other words, complete this message to have this correct size. Did you remember this part of the network course? This operation is pad. Okay, it's the same thing that happened here. Okay, it's a very common approach to work in the cryptography. Okay. The visionary is more secure than the CISA cipher, much more secure. Okay, why? because the number of things that you remember, the size of key in the Caesar is 26 factor. Okay, remember the size, the number of possible keys in the Caesar is 26 factor. Okay, and the visionaire. And the visionary, if you use, for example, a key with the, for example, the 5 digits or 5 characters, you have one, two, three, four. It's the space that you need to work to find the complete type of keys. It's a very, very big number. Okay, it's the reason that this key, the visionary is considered until now a very secured model. Okay, very secured algorithms. Okay, however, you have another different approach without brute force to break the visionary. Because you use test message, okay, it's a test, it's not a numbers, it's not digital, no, it's not, you don't use a digital system, you use a test system to cipher the message in the visionary. Because you can apply, for example, frequency analysis and other cryptanalysis techniques to try to find keys and the clear test message through the cipher message. Okay, it's not so. The visionary is a little difficult when you compare the same approach in the Caesar, but it's not impossible. Okay, you spend more time to broke, but it's possible to broke in few hours. Okay, any questions, guys? Okay, I revised this content because I last week I ran a lot to finalize this content. Okay, so just remember, we already has in the canvas one exercise, okay, one lab to do. Please don't. It's not hard to implement. Okay, it's very simple to implement. Don't 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 fail, because it's very important. It's a very simple exercise, and I believe you can do it very, very, very quickly in any language that you like. Okay, you don't need to use any specific language like Java, Python, and others. Okay, use the language that you're more comfortable. About the content in the last week, any question, guys? I believe it's very easy.
Professor.
Okay, today is the last top in the foundation of the cryptography. Okay, we studied the attacking the crypto systems. Okay, and in particular, we studied the cryptanalysis, and I explain the cryptanalysis of the Caesar cipher. Okay, I will have a very simplistic example, and after it, you have a group activity where you spend a little time to decipher a big message that is cipher use the Caesar cipher. Okay, so you have two types of attack in the crypto systems or in the network in the general way. Okay, the first one is the passive attacks. What is the passive attack? The passive attack, you try to have unauthorized information. Okay, you don't have authorization to access the information, but you try. A very simplistic attack is the eavesdropper. Okay, for example, in the network course, did you use for example, the Wireshark to sniff the network?
At least it is.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. It's an example of one passive attack. Things that you don't have any authorization to sniff the network, and you install a sniffer in the network. For example, if the user use a very old application like the old implementation of the FTP or the old implementation of the SMTP, maybe you can discover the password. Or, for example, you can capture the information from the network to try to check, for example, very old implementation of the TCP or UDP, in particular the TCP protocol. And the old implementation, you can recalculate remember the sequence number. That is very important to implement the three handshake in the TCP. Okay, if the users use one part use old implementation of the TCP, maybe you can discover the next sequence number, and you can capture the session to you. Okay, it's a complete possible, and it's not so hard to do. Okay, so this example, when you monitor the network, is the passive attack. Any questions? So active attack is a little different. Okay, in the active attack, you go a little more, a little deep. Okay, you not only sniff the network, but you modify the data inside the network. Okay, for example, you can monitor the network, and for example, when you receive information from a machine passed by you, and you can change the parameter, change the information that is the ROCA transmit to RSB. Okay, it's an example of active attack. In the both case, the cryptographer can protect the system. In the first case, when you use cryptography to cipher all messages between A and B, it's some way is one approach to protect the message against the passive attack. Because if you have someone monitoring the network, he cannot read the message because the message is ciphered. Okay. To protect, for example, active attacks, things that one attacker that modify the data, you can use the cryptography to sign the message. Okay, to inform the user. Sorry, you can generate a very small data like a hash, and you attach in the message, and the host B, when receive the message, he can check if the message is modified or not. Okay, if the message that the guy sent is the same message that you receive. Okay, you can protect the integrity, includes the authenticity of the message. Use the cryptography. Okay, cryptography solves the two problems. Okay, and when you use cryptography, it's a little harder to the attacker generate the attack. Okay, you increase the difficulty to him, to the attacker. Okay, any questions?
No, Professor.
Okay. However, you can use, again, you have in the cryptology, you have two approaches. The cryptography, when you apply the techniques to protect the data, and you have the cryptanalysis. It's the other side, where you analyze the data and try to steal information, or try to discover the key, or try to retrieve the clear text message using the cipher message. Okay, the cryptanalysis is analysis of the codes, analysis of the ciphers, okay? And is a technique, it's a math techniques to try to discover, to break the cipher models, okay, the cipher systems. You have a different approach to generate the cryptanalysis, okay? Today we study, you present the different, what is this different approach, and at the end of the course, we apply one of them. During the course, we study different orders approach apply in more complex examples, okay? For example, I believe in the next, I'm testing my computer to see if you don't spend a lot of time, okay? But I believe in the next class, we will study how to broken for DES, for example, okay? It's a symmetric cipher. And my idea is to have you have the opportunity to experiment in the lab how to broken in the practical perspective, okay? But I test in my computer first, okay, to avoid that you spend 2 days to broken a code, okay? The first approach is the ciphertext on attacks. In this type of attacks, you have access to a group of the ciphertext, okay? You don't have the access to the plain text. You only have access to the ciphertext. The modern cipher systems, the crypto systems, don't have problem of this approach. The idea is you have the ciphertext and you find in the ciphertext some patterns and use these patterns to try to rebuild the clear text message. One example of this attack, the frequency analysis, where it's the technique that we study today. In the frequency analysis, for example, in the Caesar, okay, you cipher the Caesar message, you cipher the message using the Caesar, and if you, for example, you cipher in English, if the message is English, the most frequent word is the letter E, okay? It's, if you have a big test, for example, a letter, okay? There is a good chance that you have a lot of cipher words, a lot of same cipher words. For example, in this, give me a second to show. For example, in this sentence here, you have 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E, 5E, and 6E. When you use the Caesar cipher, what you mean? Independent, this letter, you replace this letter for the same letter in the Caesar cipher. Am I correct? Did you understand? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You change all the times for the same letter. If you know that this, if you know that the guy used the Caesar and the sentence is written in the English, when you read the cipher's message, you identify, oh, this guy used the same letter. Maybe it is the E. Okay. If it's in Portuguese, the Portuguese, the most frequent word is not E, is A. Okay. Oh, appears when you see the cipher part, you see the same. For example, K, the letter K appears a lot. Oh, it's in Portuguese. Probably it's A. And replace, if you find, for example, in the Caesar cipher, one letter, you can decrypt the complete message. The visionary is not so different, okay? This visionary has this problem too. It's a little hard to find, but it has the same problem. Any question about the ciphertext on attacks Did you understand?
Yes, Professor.
Okay. If someone don't have, because I cannot see everybody, okay? If someone has questions, please say something and you appears in my front here, okay? Who is talk appears for me, okay? So the second attack is the attackers know the plain text for some parts of the ciphertext. The attacker in this type of attacker, in this type of attack, the attacker has a set of peers, clear text and ciphertext. Okay, it has a piece. It has a part of the clear text and a part of this, and they correspond cipher text. Okay. And the attacker use this pair to try to decipher the message. Okay. One we use, I will show one type of attack in GS when you use this type of approach. Okay. For example, to generate one attack, use this approach. For example, the dictionary attack. You have a group of cipher mess and the clear text, and you use this pair and to try to other keys. Okay. And you, if the algorithm has some problems, you can discover the key of the key that you user use to cipher the message. And if you discover the key, you broke the code. Okay. Any questions?
No, Professor.
Okay. Chosen plain text attack. Okay. Again, in this type of attack, the attacker has the ciphertext and plain text. Okay. It's very similar from the last one. The main difference is, in this case, you have some key. You have the part of the message. It's very similar. Okay. The difference here is you have access to the cipher machine. Okay. And you can create a pair of messages. In the previous one, you don't have access to the cipher machine. Okay. You have a pair. Okay. You have the pair of the cipher message and the clear text. Here, no, it's different. You have access to the machine, and you can generate some keys and generate the cipher message and the clear text. And you try to discover some patterns that the algorithm has to broken the key. Okay? Did you understand the difference?
Yep.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. The dictionary attack is a type of it's not exactly a brute force attack, but it's a little type of the brute force. You compile a dictionary. It's a very common attack, for example, to passwords. Okay, you have a dictionary with a lot of passwords and the correspond hash of the password. Okay. In the operating systems, you didn't save, you don't save the password in the clear text. Okay, for example, you have the user Barreto, and the Barreto use the password 123456. Okay, however, you don't save the password in the clear text. You use an operation, and the name of this operation is the HMAC, okay, a hash MAC that you use a key and a hash function to generate a representation of the password in clear text in a hash, okay? And in this type of attack, you save the username, the username and the hash of the, for example, you have some password that the user use and the corresponding hash. Did you understand? It's something like that in this attack. You have a dictionary and you have password one and you have hash password one. Okay? Oh, sorry. Password two, and you have the hash value of the password two. Password 4, and you have the hash of password 4. Okay? You have a database where you have a group of the passwords that you know the hash value. Okay? How to create this database? One example to create this database is, for example, get this database in the internet. There are a lot of examples of passwords datasets, user password datasets. You can use this dataset. Another way to create this database is use a common password, for example, names. There are the important things. You have a database with thousands of passwords and the hash value. What you want to do? The idea here is why I did that is a type of brute force. Because, for example, if you have a password that name is banana, okay, and the user use, for example, the password, for example, banana 2, okay, depend the hours to use to in the hashmap function. Maybe you have parts of the information that match with the value that you have and the value that you receive. For example, you sniff the network and they use it, type the password. However, the password that you pass for in front of you is a hash value, okay? Is a protect value. And you use the dictionary to try to discover these passwords, okay? And again, maybe use the hash you have part of the password. You need to only discover, for example, if you use a password, the hash value has, for example, 8 bytes or 8 bits, sorry. And maybe you have 4 bits. You only need to discover the rest of the 4 bits, okay? It's the one example of the dictionary attack. It's not exactly a complete brute force, but the dictionary simplify the brute force because they decrease the number of trials that you need to perform to discover the password. Did you understand? Any questions?
Yes, we understand.
Okay. Oops. The next one is the brute force, okay? The brute force is not simplest. It's not simple to implement, okay? Because a lot of system has protection of brute force, okay? However, the brute force is not the best approach that you have more successful results. However, it's the easiest one, okay? And what is the brute force? You try all the possibilities of the key, okay? For example, if you have a key that use 8 bits, for example, okay, long. To discover this key, you need only to test 2 elevate to power 8. In other words, 256 trials to discover this password. Okay, it's not so big this space to find. It's very smaller. In the next section, we study, for example, the GES. The GES is a very old cipher system. It's very old, okay? It's from, I believe it's 70 years. But the problem of this cipher is not the model, is not the hours, is the problem is the size of key. Because in the GS you use 8-byte key. Okay, the key has 8 bytes, the size of the key. And you think, okay, 8 bytes is a lot of number because think you is a big number. Okay, for example, 8 bytes is the space to find the key is 2 power 256 is a big number, but it's not a big number per computer. Okay, to the computer that you have today. Okay, you spend hours to find this key. It's the problem of GS. The GS is real secured system. However, the problem is the size of key. It's the reason that the GS is discontinued. You finish the use of GS and find a new model like a triple GS and the AES. We study both the 3 cases in the next session. Okay. Any question about the brute force attack? No. The birthday attack. The birthday attack is a single attack. It's a type of the brute force. Okay. The idea of the birthday attack is to find a collision in the hash function. Okay. What is a collision? See this example here. The idea of the hash function is to generate a number. If you change a bit in the number, you change the complete result that the complete output of the hash function. Okay, it's the first property of the hash function. However, the hash function has another property. The probability to 2 different inputs generates the same output need to be very, very, very slow. Because when this situation happens, you have a collision. For example, in this example, you have Michael and Toby. The both users, when apply your password, for example, generates the same hash value. What it means? When you, for example, in Linux, when you read, for example, the secret file, in the name of Michael, the password is, for example, 2. In the name of, in the line that you have the secret password of Toby, you have the number 2. Okay? It's a problem. It's a problem because if, for example, you increase the probability to find the key, use the brute force. Okay. For example, things that you have 30% of the data has collision. Okay. 30% of your hash values has collision. It means, for example, then the space to find is 30% less than the number of the size of key. You decrease the complexity to find the key. Did you understand? Did you understand or not the birthday attack? It's not related to the birthday, okay? It's related to the collisions. Again, to understand, okay? Think that you have a password, your password system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you have only 5 users. Okay, each user needs to have one specific key. Okay, one specific hash. how many bits do you have? You need to store the password. This password has. Did you understand the question? For example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you need to have 5 different values. How many bits do you have? Do you need?
3.
3 bits, exactly. Because 1 is 2 values, 2 bits is 4 values, and 3 bits is 8 values. Am I correct? Okay. 3 bits. To broke this hash, you need to find to make a brute force attack. You need to make all combinations of the key, okay, and test all of this combination. Did you understand until here? Yes. How?
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yes, we understand.
Okay. So, but think that you have this problem here. Okay. 2 of these keys generate the same hash. Okay. In this case, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. But you have only 2 or 4 different values. Okay. Sorry, not 2 or 4. You have 4 values. What it means? 2 bytes only has difference. Did you understand? You don't need to find, for example, it's a probability, okay? Maybe you need to test 2 power 3, okay? However, you have a good chance to test 2 power 2 and find the key. Did you understand? Yes or no?
Yes, yes, Professor.
Yes.
Someone didn't understand what I said now? It's the time. Everybody understood? Okay. The next one is the man in the middle. The man in the middle is when you're the attacker intercept the message. The attacker is in the middle of the connect. For example, the user and the app application, and you have one attacker here. And you think that you talk with the web application, however, you talk with the man in the middle. The man in the middle masquerades the web application is tied to, oh, I'm the web application. However, you talk with him. And you send data to him, and he sends data to the web application. Receive the output and send the output to you. A very amazing tool in the secure part, in the blue team part, is the honeypot. The honeypot is not exactly a man in the middle, but you can implement a honeypot like a man in the middle. Okay. There are 2 ways to implement the honeypot. One way is to, okay, you don't implement the man in the middle. The guys send the data to you and talk with the system, the real system. Okay. Never the victim access the real system. It's on the way to implement the honeypot. Okay. Another way is you send data to the honeypot, and the honeypot send data to the real server. The real server answer, and you manipulate the data to take off the information that you don't want to send to the user, for example, the attacker, and then you send the data to the attacker. In this kind of the honeypot, is very dangerous. Okay, it's a honeypot, very dangerous because the attacker can identify that he's in the honeypot and start to attack the honeypot, and then use the honeypot to invade your system. But it's one approach to use the honeypot. The more secure one is you don't use this approach. You connect the honeypot answer like the real system, but you don't have any access to the real system. Okay, the honeypot don't talk with the real system. A question to you. I know that I believe it's 4 or 5 guys didn't have the security course, okay, because he's doing this course with me now. There are other people that didn't do the security course. There are other people, for example, everybody except the people that is doing the course with me. There are other people that don't have the security course. You don't have, Julio. Romor, Alfredo, okay. There are a lot of people, okay. What is a honeypot? I mean, ask because I talk with a honeypot, consider that everybody did the security course, okay? A honeypot is, okay. I try to explain, very simplistic way, okay? You have different ways to try to combat, okay, to the security and the red team, the security and the hacker, it's like a war, okay? The attacker tried to exploit your system and the defense guy tried to protect the system, okay? One tool that the blue team has is the honeypot, okay? What is a honeypot? A honeypot is a device that you install in your network, okay? In a sector, not the sector, is in the one specific place in your network, and this device, it's like the real system. Why is the honeypot? You don't know the Pooh, the cartoon Pooh, okay, the Disney, okay. You have the honeypot. What's the Pooh did? He put your hand inside the honeypot, and it cannot leave because it's like in the jail, okay? It's like the Pooh. The honeypot is like that. The attacker enter in the system, exploit the system, try to exploit, try to use your weapons against the system, but he didn't attack the real system. It's attack the hacker attack a fake system. While the hacker attack your system, you collect information from him, okay? You discover where is the IP, you discover which type of weapons he used, and you use this information like an intelligent Gary to try to create the best approach to. It's like he attack you, and you use the honeypot to create the counter attack him. Did you understand the idea? It's what is a honeypot. The honeypot is a fake system. The attacker thinks, oh, I'm in the real system because, for example, the honeypot, for example, you can have, for example, a honeypot with Apache web system, okay? I don't know, for example, Oracle. You have a honeypot that's a mimic Oracle database, okay? When the attacker try to generate, for example, a buffer overflow attack, okay, it works. The system answer like the database, and the attacker, oh, I'm in the real database, and he try to, okay, apply the buffer overflow. After he tried to escalate the system, and the attacker does all steps in the attack, and you collect all of information, okay? And you identify that this attacker is a script kid, is an experienced attacker, is an APT. You identify what is the problem. And when you identify this information, you ask for help, for example, you generate the alerts, you modify your file, Okay, modify your IDS. Did you understand what is a honeypot? Yes? Any questions? No? Okay, guys, perfect. So back to representation. Okay, it is the man in the middle. During our course, we studied one example of the man in the middle. For example, in the Diffie-Hellman, is a okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. My microphone stopped to work, but now it's working. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. In our course, we studied the man in the middle when we studied the asymmetric cipher. We studied one algorithm is the Diffie-Hellman, and in Diffie-Hellman, it's very easy to generate a man in the middle. Okay, and we studied. You show the man in the middle in the Diffie-Hellman, and you implement this man in the middle attack in the lab. Okay, so the side channel attack is a very amazing attack. It's a little different than we studied because what is the side channel? In the side channel, like the name is, you didn't attack the cipher system, okay? You attack in the side. For example, when I started to study security in 1995, the world is completely different. You don't have internet. You have internet, but it's very niche in the beginning. You don't have a Wi-Fi. You don't have a smartphone in that time. The way to try to discover the cipher message, the way to discover when the people use the cipher systems, the way to discover the key or discover the clear test, the only way that you have is to record the when the computer in that time, okay, when the computer process as for example, when the computer you record, for example, the electromagnetic radiation. Because, where, for example, when you use, for example, cipher, the computer requires more power to work, and because it requires more power, you generate sign, electronic magnetic signs, okay, and record this type of things, record this type of things, okay, and try to use this thing to recognize the key or recognize the clear test. Okay, at least discover when the user use cipher, for example. There are a lot of ways to generate the sidechain attack. Today, the most common is the injector fault. I believe it's the next. No, I will explain it and back that later. In this type of attack, you have access to the cipher machine. Okay, you have access to the cipher machine. And what you do, you know that the cipher machine has a problem with one type of key. Okay, and you try to, or it has a problem with a combination of input. Okay, what you do, you use this, you make a lot of fault injection, okay, and see the erroneous result of the machine, and try to understand the patterns and use these patterns to, for example, to break the code of the cipher model. We will see in GS that GS has a group of keys that is considered weak. What is what means this group of keys? Is that a specific, I believe it's 4 or 5 keys that you injecting the GS machine, and the GS machine return it's not cipher the message, it return the clear text or return the key that you use. Okay, for example, if you use this key, the output that you receive is the clear text, or not the exactly clear text, but it's very close to the clear text. It's easy to break because you don't need to break the 64 bits to discover the key. You need to only break 8 bits or 5 bits. Okay, it's what is a fault analysis attack. Another type of attack is the time attack. The idea of the time attack is discovered, for example, when the guy used the cipher system, or in particular, they try to discover the size of key. You don't know the size of key that you user use, okay? And calculate the times between you send input and you analyze the output and measure the time to generate the output. After a long time, you can discover, okay, this guy used a 16 bytes key. It's a very important. It's not, you cannot discover the secret if the time is attacked, but you discover the size of key. And using the size of key, you can identify that, for example, techniques to break the key. For example, the time attacks is the first approach, is the first step of one cryptanalysis system. Is a first step of a cryptanalysis. Okay, you can use, for example, the time attacks to discover the key size. Is a very important information. Any question, guys? No?
No.
So now I try to explain you about the cryptanalysis of the Caesar cipher. Again, the Caesar cipher, you don't use Caesar cipher today. It's a class example, okay? The idea here is only to recognize one approach that you can use, the frequency analysis. It's not work, for example, toward the digital system. It's only work to alphabet system, okay? But it's a good approach to understand. So the first point is the Caesar, okay? The Caesar cipher is the easiest of all ciphers to break, okay? Remember why the Caesar works on your time, because a large number of the population is complete analphabet, okay? Don't know how to write, don't know how to read. It's the reason that it worked very well. Remember that the cipher, you need to shift a number between 1 to 5, okay? To the left or to the right. The idea of the cryptanalyzing the Caesar cipher is to apply the frequency distribution. For example, in the natural English, okay, you have different frequency of the word. For example, the E, 12%, close to 30% of the words in the book or in the test is the letter E. The second one is the letter T, and the last frequency is the letter Z. Okay, you can see this table here. Okay, here you have a E, here you have a T, and the word words. How to use this technique? It's very simple. To use these techniques, use these techniques, you Things that, for example, okay, I understood. Things then the left side, the left side is the frequency of the sorry, oh my gosh. The left side, the left side, you have the standard English frequency, okay? And the right side is the frequency of the word that you find in your document, cipher by using the scissor. You know that this document is ciphered using the scissor, and you know that is wrote in English, okay? Did you understand? What you're looking for? For example, the most frequent word is the letter E. And here you have two. You have the letter S and the letter O. Okay? What you need to do? You replace in this test, in the cipher test, the letter E in the place of O first. And check if the document makes sense for you. If it makes sense, you found the key. Okay, you broken the system. If it's not make sense, you try the S and replace the document using the S. Oh, if it's not work, we use this one. Okay, but if the document that you analyze has, for example, is a sentence with a very short sentence, there is a good chance that this probability is not work. Okay, but if it's a big document, this probability will work. Okay. One example of the application of this sentence. It's another table. It's a little hard to find this table, for example, in the Portuguese, for example. Okay, but in English you have, for example, the sequence T8, the frequency is 330 in the 10,000 characters. Okay, you can use this table to complement your analysis, but most of the time you don't need to. Okay, with the first one you find the key in the system and don't spend a lot of time. Okay, it's important thing. The first thing is in the Spanish you need to find the frequency, character frequency in the Spanish. In the Portuguese you need to find the character frequency in the Portuguese. In the Russian you need to find the character frequency in the Russian. Okay. Any question here? No?
Nope.
I will give an example, okay? Give me a second to find the example. No. Okay. Okay. The language is English. The cipher is Caesar. What is the key? It is the message. I will give 5 minutes to find, okay? And here in the left side, you have the frequency table. Try to find, guys. 5 minutes. Okay, guys. Okay, I will show the process first, okay? The first thing that you need to do is find the letter with more occurrence, okay? See the message is the letter V, okay? You have 3, 1, 2, 3, and the letter A, okay? You have 1, 2, 3. Is the letter that is you have more frequency, okay? The first trial is replace V for E, okay? Replace V for E. And when you do it, you can replace, okay, now V is Z. If you go to the, check here, I believe you have it, okay, here. Okay, V is E, okay, is E. What is W? Is F. X is G, 8, and so on. Am I correct? Did you understand? Okay. So, okay, now you replace V for VE and see the result. Give me a second, I have the result here. Where is it? I believe it is one. Yeah. It is the cipher message, okay? TZV, XV, blah, 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 and replace V for E, okay? V, where's the V? Where's the V? Oh, V is here. No, it's here. V for E. Now you replace the complete word, and you need only to replace the words here. Okay, T, where's T? T, C, oh, sorry. Let's T, 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 T. Oh, no. Oh my God, it's not the same word, am I correct? TZV. Yes, TZV. You need to replace the first word to and check the result. Check if it's matched. If it's not matched, you need to replace the letter E, okay? For example, the A, sorry, is the A is E. And you start looking for until you find the correct key. Did you understand? Yes or no? Okay.
Yes.
It's not hard to do, okay? In some kinds, for example, it's a very smaller word, smaller, sorry, it is the smaller sentence. If you have a big sentence and you create like IG, oh, not here, sorry. Okay, for example, if you did this type of, you have the frequency word of the language. If you create the frequency word of the cipher, you can translate is one to other. Okay, it's the test. So, to finalize, guys, I want to show in the canvas. Yes, I published it. Yes. Okay. The class cipher development is the deadline is 4, but 4 is this week. Okay, I will move for the middle of the next week. Okay, I will move this lab for the next week. Okay, but and I moved this one a little ahead too. Okay, however, the 2 is already published. Okay, this one is in the group. Okay, I need that you send to me until Mark 3 the name of the 4 guys in the group. Remember that this group, you follow this, use this group in the course, okay, during the semester, okay? So I need the information, send in Slack the name of the group, for example, amazing guys, for example, and the members, okay? And I will create in the canvas these groups, okay? The reason to create in the canvas this group is to avoid that everybody needs to submit the work. Just one guy submit to the group, okay? So through it, I need that you send to me until March 3 to enable that I have time to create the groups in the canvas. The task is simple, okay? You have this cipher test message, okay? Okay, open, please. Okay, it's big, okay? You see here, it's big message, okay? And the idea is you decipher this message and you know that this message is wrote in the Spanish and you use the scissor to cipher, okay? The idea is to make a frequency analysis of this document here and discover the cipher message. Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay. How to solve this problem? I believe the best way to solve is try to generate this graph here, okay? And you can use any language that you want to generate this graph, this plot, and use this plot to try to translate. I believe if you generate this plot here, you translate very, very quick. Okay, you don't, maybe you spend, for example, an hour to create the plot and 10 minutes to broke the cipher. Okay, it's the way that I use. If I need to do it, it's the way that I use to solve this problem. Any question, guys? No? Any question about the topic that we studied today?
No, Professor.
Okay. Everything is okay? Do you understand everything? If you have question about, I didn't understand what you said in this part of the course, send a Slack message. And I try to explain better. I try to type and explain. We're using another example to explain the same thing. Okay. Don't keep don't stay with questions. The course is the beginning. Is the next course. The next session is a little more hard because you enter in the modern cipher models. It's not hard, but it's more difficult than today, okay? But it's not hard. This session I record and I publish in the Canvas, okay? If you see in the Canvas, you'll see this session recorded. If you need to revise, you have this session. Okay, guys? Guys, I'm very, very happy. I see a lot of face. I miss you. I'm excited to the next week to stay with you and don't have this problem if you use the Zoom. I don't like to use Zoom, okay? Next class, on Friday, we have session again, and we start. The next topic is about the symmetric models, okay? It's amazing. It's an amazing topic. I believe you like, okay? If you don't have any question, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you on Friday, okay, guys? Thank you.
Bye, Professor.